Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're gonna talk about XRP. But before I get started, over the next week and a half or so, my videos might be going live at strange times. I have to build out a massive computer network inside of an industrial building. And I think they want me to work on a lot of it at night. So that's definitely going to change my schedule. But I definitely will bring you content every day. So we're looking at XRP on the one-day chart, sitting here just under 51 cents. You know, yesterday the sky was falling. Today, crypto is green. That's how fast this market turns around. And the only thing I'm waiting for is this judge to finally come out and make a decision so we could end the Ripple versus SEC case already. Because soon as that happens, I think we're going to get a lot of very big announcements soon after, and a lot of people here in the United States will most likely also be utilizing XRP going forward. And that's why that could be very big. Now, yesterday, I talked about Gene Sperling, a former Ripple board member that was working under Biden. And I said, maybe he's going back to Ripple. I didn't say he was definitely going back to Ripple, but it looks like he joined Kamala Harris' 2024 presidential campaign team. And this guy did a lot of good things in the background. He worked on the $1.9 trillion pandemic aid package, and he also helped during the auto strikes. But his work helped nearly 40 million working families get unprecedented child tax cut relief, and over 8 million renters get emergency assistance to help keep their families housed. But you know, what keeps going through my mind is that this guy knows what Ripple is. He knows what XRP is. So if he was working close to Biden, why didn't he explain RippleNet and XRP to Biden? Why didn't he tell him, listen, you want to fix the economy? This is the path forward. But, you know, we don't know what goes on. Maybe Biden he knows, I'm sure he knows a new financial system is coming. I just don't understand their anti-crypto narrative that they're pushing and trying to crush out crypto. I just don't get it. Why would you try to crush innovation unless you want to bring down the current financial system so the new financial system can rise? That's the only reason I could think of that these politicians are anti-crypto. Then there's this, Form 1099-B. Reports all your crypto trades, gains, and losses. Only a few crypto exchanges send you this form today, such as Robinhood, PayPal, eToro, Uphold, and Cash App. And now I think Coinbase does as well. But here's what this is. I've seen a lot of people saying, I sold the top and I bought back in. I mean, what did you sell at? 63 cents? To buy back in at maybe 48 cents? If you got lucky, 44, 45 cents? Well, if you were holding XRP for a long period of time, leading up to that sell, you just canceled out your long-term capital gains. Because when you sell and buy back in, you're now on short-term gains. So if crypto was to take off within the next couple months, which I'm expecting that to happen, and you decide to cash out, your capital gains are going to be short-term, which is higher than long-term capital gains. Plus, every time you sell and buy back in, that's a taxable event that will be reported to the IRS. You don't have to report it. Uphold will report it. PayPal, Robinhood, Coinbase, they report all these things to the IRS. And I think a lot of people don't realize that yet till they start getting the letters in the mail. Just in, JP Morgan says institutions bought the dip while retail panic sold aggressively. Retail sold 1 billion, institutions bought plus $14 billion. So here's what happens, and they're talking about stocks here, but think about crypto. Every time you sell, the whales are buying. And, you know, eventually at some point when the demand is very high for XRP, you might sell and not be able to buy back in. But, you know, retail is always going to be retail. People always want to try to cash and get back in as quick as they possibly can. And a lot of people are going to sell at so many different price points as XRP rises in price as well. But at some point, you may not be able to buy back in. Japan's $400 billion fire sale of U.S. debt will break the back of the U.S. Treasury, highlighting the urgent need for liquidity that XRP can provide, which is why Ripple has introduced the RLUSD stablecoin. This crisis is all about dismantling the Federal Reserve dollar system. And even Jerome Powell says it's time to end the Fed. So I think what's going to happen over time, we're going to see power shift to the Treasury, and we could possibly see the end of the Fed at some point. But then there's this. Starting today, the U.S. will start $30 billion per month Treasury buybacks. Money printer go burr. So I think this is going to be very good for crypto. But, you know, this is the same thing that they've done time and time again. And sure, it might prop up the, you know, the system for a little while, but then all those problems come back. You know, we're still not out of the banking crisis yet. We're going to see more banks fall as well. And I'm still keeping a very close eye on commercial real estate as well. Just in, Morgan Stanley's 15,000 advisors to start pitching clients to buy Bitcoin ETFs starting tomorrow. But this is why Morgan Stanley is here. Morgan Stanley has stated that adopting a Ripple-like payment system could shorten settlement periods, speed up transactions, and reduce the risk of fraud. Morgan Stanley considers Ripple to be a leading international payment alternative to SWIFT. So Morgan Stanley's doing exactly what BlackRock is doing. You get involved with the ETFs, and then you start to get institutional investors into ETFs. Later, you transition them over to retail. And once they transition to retail, Bitcoin is just going to start to fall apart. And then we're going to see the rise of utility, because once those institutions get here, they're going to be opening up all types of passive income options, lending and borrowing. They're going to open up so many different avenues, and that's going to lead to mass adoption over time. But anytime they say that they're getting involved with the Bitcoin ETFs, right after that, you find out that they know what Ripple is, they know what XRP is, and they know what the future is. XRP significantly outperformed both Bitcoin and ETH in July, institutional research. And you see it right here. The numbers don't lie. But you know, at some point, when we finally do enter alt season, I think XRP is going to flip both ETH and Bitcoin. It will become the #1 cryptocurrency again. And once utility starts to drive the price of XRP, XRP will be the #1 cryptocurrency going forward. Because once you have utility and real world use case, the days of speculation end. The days of hype end. Because things are real now. The value is real for XRP. Market Strategist says 100x or 200x XRP price increase is monumental. This comes from Credible Crypto. And what he's saying here is this, because a lot of people are saying that we're following 2017, and people are calling for like 100,000x on XRP. But he's saying that we could see 100x or 200x increase from the current levels, which would represent a monumental achievement. Hey, I will take a 200x any day. I would love to see us hit $385 or $238 like everybody's predicting based on 2017. But I'm going to keep it conservative. I think we hit $27, possibly higher, but that's where I think we will definitely go. A lot of other people are saying $18 is going to be the top. We really don't know yet. We got to wait and see what happens when alt season begins. But there's a lot of people out there putting different price points down. I mean, I see people still calling for $1 million per one XRP. I mean, let's be real. Flip the switch. After lawsuit ends, all banks go digital and Ripple becomes a world bank. Take a listen to this.
This reset will be a huge shock when Americans catch on. That's why the average person won't hear a word about the story until it's obvious to just about everyone. And by then, it's going to be too late. Yep. In the months ahead, central banks around the world are planning to go digital. Many of the legacy banks you've heard of, where you probably even keep your money, like Bank of America, Chase, Citi, Wells Fargo, they're about to be reset, overhauled by a new type of technology called fintech, which is short for financial technology.
Yeah, can I ask you, what exactly does that mean for the banks and all of us, you and me?
Essentially, it means the function of our banks is about to change. They probably won't raise public suspicion about it by changing the signs on your bank's branches, but according to my sources, the Federal Reserve will soon own all the banks, and your local branch, it's simply going to be like a licensee of the Fed. In other words, the banking infrastructure is being rebuilt from the ground up, and very few Americans are aware this is even happening. We are right on the verge of a once-in-a-generation opportunity to profit by investing in the companies that are building out the architecture for this massive shift.
Did you take notice to what she said? She said the Fed is going to own all the banks. They're just going to be branches of the Fed. Now, what is happening right now? What's the narrative? And the Fed. So Ripple rises as a central bank. All of a sudden, all the banks get tied to Ripple. Do you see? She has the plan laid out, but I think she's missing the key piece that's going on right now. And that's that the Fed is going to send the power back to the Treasury. Then the Treasury is going to send the power to Ripple. I think that's end game. Because think about it. All the banks are going to be connected to RippleNet technology anyway. Even if they're utilizing SWIFT, they're going to be utilizing RippleNet and XRP. Because Ripple is also working with SWIFT. Fintechs and institutions need each other to unlock the tokenization of real-world assets. Take a listen to this.
The world of crypto that inspired a lot of this tech was quite retail, right? It started retail, quite niche actually, relatively small, that world. It's only got a market cap of about $1 trillion. But when we're talking about tokenization of real-world assets, we're talking about the largest market on the planet. Where are the assets and where are the investors? Well, the institutions have the assets and they advise the assets. The institutions have the large pools of accredited and high net worth investors through their wealth managers, private banks, etc. And you're not going to have a situation where a fintech can create a venue and scale and take over that world. It's not going to happen. At the same time, the institutions that have the assets and the investors also need that innovation and the change of approach that comes from outside of what ostensibly historically has been the public capital markets to say, well, how do we digitize the private markets? And so you have fintechs that are bringing on board digital exchanges, you've got tokenizers, all moving very fast, a lot of energy, many of the companies that are in this room. But the solution is for them to work with those large institutions to unlock this chain between asset and investor.
So the fintechs and the institutions need to work together. And once that starts to happen, all of a sudden, tokenization is just going to boom. And it's going to happen very fast. And again, leading us towards mass adoption. You know, everybody always says, I got into crypto to get rich. Why is it taking so long? Well, things like this take a long time. But the good thing is, it's accelerating. Things are moving quicker. Technology is expanding. We're pushing through to the fourth industrial revolution at a very fast pace. Everybody always talks about 2030. I think everything is going to be built out by 2027, possibly 2028. They always put a time on it, but whenever they put a time on something, expect it to happen sooner. And that's what I think is going to occur over the coming months and coming years. But at the same time, you're going to be watching XRP rise in price. And along the way, there's going to be people selling one after another at different price points, expecting it to come back down. But nobody's seen a utility run before. Nobody's seen what happens when utility is pushing the price of a cryptocurrency. How long does it continue to go upward in price is what I'm saying. Nobody knows. But, until all this happens, you got to stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.